Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Happy Wednesday. It's hump day. All right. March 29th, coming into the end of the month. We had actually some really good plays last night. I was in the process of hopping on to send a video out to everybody in the Zoom room, but it's just things were happening too fast that I just didn't get a chance. So we'll go over those trades in a second that I was looking at last night. However, let's take a look at price action today first, and then let's take a look at Forex Factory. We have no news events today, so we're in the clear skies ahead. All right, so taking a look, what's going on, I'm in. Taking a look at the Dixie. Still in this range. Pretty strong move down. So watching the lows of 102.4, the highs of 102.730. We're in this range, but again, I was watching the Dixie yesterday. It didn't really have much effect on the market at all. So let's take a look at the rates. The rates are now below this pretty strong area of contention. This 4.050 rejected back in October of last year, January and February. And so now we're seeing these descending highs. And so if we see a push to the downside here with the rates, you want to see a strong gold. If you see the rates break through, then gold's going to be weak. So we'll just have to keep an eye on the rates as price progresses, and then we'll see what it's going to give us. Can we play with crypto for recap? I'm not sure what recap you're referring to. Looking at the indices. US30 are running into this range here, previous area of rejection. Very strong area of rejection, pivot point. And so what I want to see here is actually, you know what, looking at it now. So we've had extremely strong bullish price action. I mean, just non-stop bullish candlesticks here. So on not only that, but if you look at the current daily has zero bottom wick. Zero bottom wick on the daily, has like over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like 14 bullish candlesticks out of 16. So it's not something that I am going to be trading, because in my trading plan I said, I talk about if there's no bottom wick and we're pushing this strong already, I'm not playing this, because I look at the chart here. I mean, how often does it not have a lower or upper wick? Very rare that you see that, and I'm just trying to see if I could see one, and I don't really see one right off the top of my head here. So not going to be playing the Dow today. However, the S&P 500 does have a very minor lower wick. However, it counts. It has a lower wick. So now what I'm going to look at for the S&P is we're at this this pivot point as well. It's 4,010, creating these higher lows. Just broke through this high. However, we are at a strong area of resistance, so I'm not looking to buy it against this. So I'm going to try to look for sells, and here's what I'm going to look for. This is the only thing I'm going to grab if I can get it, is We've had these lows, these ascending lows that we just broke through. So what I want to see now is price to run through these highs, come back below this low, and then we're going to then grab liquidity, form bear structure, retest, and then we'll look for the sells on the way back down. So this is the only thing I'll look for the S&P. Yeah, but that's obviously got a lot of time to form. I mean, it's still 7:06, so I'm not trading this thing until, like, you know, at least 8:30. Looking at metals for mentorship. I mean, it's not an option, but I guess I can consider adding it as an option. I don't really do crypto, but I'll look into it. Gold. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we've been creating these higher lows pretty steadily here. We have equal highs at 2,000. 2-hour chart came down and retested this previous neckline here overnight and had a nice rally off of it. One hour chart, you can take a look and see that there's resistance, support, resistance, hesitation here, I guess. So what I want to see ideally is something like this. And so with that, going down to the lower time frames, hopping down to, let's say, the 10-minute. Let's go to the 15-minute. So really what I want to see is, so we've had some pretty strong selling overnight. Found some support at the previous area that we've gravitated to before. And then we pushed off pretty heavily off of it. And so now that we broke through this high right here, what I'd like to see is, I drew my Fibonacci's, I want to see a retracement down into this 1964 for then a push higher through these highs. So I want to see buys on gold. And looking at the 10-minute, somewhere right in this range here, right around the 50% retracement towards 61.8. I'll look for something like that for bullish price action to form. Stops down at 78.6. Take profit up here, and that's around a 3.5 to 1. So, yeah, we'll just see what we get. But this is going to be an idea for gold. As far as sells, if I were to look for sells, let me get rid of some of this stuff. The problem is we're still in bullish structure here. Higher low, higher low, higher high. So I'm really only looking for buys unless we can break through this low. But then at that point, the range isn't very much. So I'm not looking for sells in gold today at all. Just looking for buys. Oil, the black gold. Taking a look, 4-hour chart. If you zoom out a little bit, you can see that this area, strong point of control. A lot of rejection here. And so going down more, I guess, zoomed in, we're creating these higher lows. Just broke through these highs. And so the only play for me is going to be if we can break back through these highs, break back below this low, get a retest, and then we'll look for that dump down back towards the lows. I don't want to... Let's see here real quick. I mean, just my problem is this is something I'm just not comfortable with as a trader. Is, I mean, when you look, even you go to the daily chart, you have just an elevator ride up into this strong area of support and resistance. And so naturally, that's where you would expect like maybe some type of pullback and then breakthrough, because this is where you see a lot of rejection come into play. I mean, you can look at like the 2 and 4 hour, it's just an elevator ride up. So I'm not going to be taking longs quite yet. I'll just look for something like this on the short side. If I don't get it, I don't get it, and I won't trade it. It is what it is. moving forward to pound yen. I'm not trading pound yen today, so pound yen's what I made my money on last night, which I'll go over in a second. However, if you look at the 4-hour chart, we're now above this previous major point of control area of contention here. Now we're moving pretty strongly above it. Looking at the lower highs, we've been forming lower highs here pretty steadily. We just broke through today. Broke through overnight session, retested it, and now we're rallying higher. This could have been the entry. However, I mean, we have this like move here that I would have liked to seen us retest. And the range to the upside's really only up into this area here, 163.2. So no trade on pound yen for me today. Pound USD, however, does look pretty decent. Looking at the daily chart, daily chart sitting right above this previous area of rejection. Current daily chart had a nice wick to the downside, wicked this rejection area for a potential continuation bullish up into this rejection point. So going down into the lower time frames, 30-minute. Dollar Fibonacci's, we haven't quite reached 38.2% retracement. I wanted to see a little lower of a retest. We had created these descending highs going into the overnight session. London session open drove us through these highs, and now I want to see a retest for a higher low for then a continuation to the upside. And so looking at 15-minute, ideally what we see is a push down towards VWAP, a push down towards the EMA, down towards the 50% retracement, and then we can get that continuation higher. So this is what I'll be looking for pound USD. And yeah, that's it. As far as shorts, we're in a bullish structure right now. We're sitting on top of major daily support, not looking for shorts. And then as far as what trade I took last night, I'll cover it real quick for pound yen. Pretty simple. And I literally, if you pay attention, guys, I say the same thing over and over and over and over again. And what happens, it works over and over and over and over again. So if you take a look, you just got, all it takes is looking at recent structure, right? And it's not like, okay, recent structure is going to tell you the future, but history rhymes. It's going to be very similar. So if you look at price action overnight, or I guess the last couple of days, we've been creating these higher lows here. We've been wedging right into this resistance at 161.750. And then, you know, what are we going to anticipate? Do we anticipate this thing to break through? Or do we anticipate this thing to go something like this? I don't know. Let's look at recent price action, see if there's anything that we could kind of, I guess, get an idea on, right? So look at this. We have this resistance, resistance. What are we doing? We're wedging up into that resistance. What do we do? Boom. And it goes straight up. So it's not rocket science. It's literally just looking at how price reacts in certain areas, and just playing it with that. And so knowing that this previous market structure had the same thing and just broke right through, that's what led me to believe that, okay, let me replay this. I was like, I think that we're going to get a nice push to the upside, up towards 162.4, which will give us a retest of this trend line. It's also going to be a retest of this rejection point right here as well. So this is what I was looking for. And the way I played it, you can look at the 10-minute. Pushing it forward. Yeah, so this is actually where I took long. I took a long. So if you take a look at how structure's forming, we're creating this high, low, and then, you know, something like this. And what I'm looking at is we had already came to retest. We're sitting on top. Let me get rid of this line here. We're sitting right on top of the previous structure, right? This a lot of resistance and exhaustion, resistance, support, resistance, you know, resistance, now support. So this is a very strong area of structure. And so knowing that last time price had just exploded higher, I said, okay, well, you know, I think it'd be cool to get a little bit more of a retest, maybe closer to VWAP for a continuation higher. But I didn't want to get greedy at this point because we were already sitting on top of major structure. So what I did was I took a long. Stop was just down in this range somewhere below VWAP. Stop was actually around these lows. That was a little too close. Stops were around these lows. Take profit. Boom. Around 5-1. And yeah, you just let it go and just boom. And so I actually added to my position. Right in here after we had broken through this major area of support and resistance, going down the lower time frames. We were pulling back against this resistance. I took a long in here, and at this point this trade was at break even, and so I was only in one, really risking one play, and then I caught this extra move up. So trade worked out really well. I mean, it was the textbook trade. It was very simple, and look, don't overcomplicate it. So what's going on, John Doe? Johnny John, what trade are you talking? How your analyze played out? Yeah, it's pound yen. If you can rewatch the stream if you want, just finish going over it. But yeah, that's it from Asian session. I was also looking at gold sells. However, I didn't want to. I had already made 11,000 on GJ, so I did not want to just over trade an Asian session. But gold sells worked out really well. And yeah, so that's it for the YouTube breakdown. Going to again hop off trade with my guys this morning and my gals. You know where to find us if you would like to trade with us, fantradingforex.com. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of your trading day. Safe trading, guys. Make some money. See ya.